First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Radash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to all the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. We out here once again to let the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans know we are God's chosen people. We're the Israelites according to the Holy Bible. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom known as America, which is Babylon the Great according to the Holy Bible. It is ruled and ran by the so-called white man Esau Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're out here to proclaim the return of our Lord and Savior, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is a dark-skinned man with woolly hair. His true ancient biblical name is Yahweh Shai, and he's coming back to bring salvation to the elect of the nation of Israel. And he's coming back to bring destruction and ultimately to set up the new world government, to set up the new world government and put all these other nations in captivity. Started with Esau Edom, because he is the head of all the nations right now. He is the one in control.
Secondary 15.
Start at verse 15, read to 20. Well, start at 14 and then read to 20. And then you get your.
No, I was just going to start at secondary.
Oh.
What you're saying, since we didn't have anything, but we'll just go by the Spirit. All right, this is Numbers chapter 24, verse 14. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come, therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do, thy people in the latter days.
Right, these people, which this is Balaam talking to the king of the Moabites, which his name was Balak. Okay, because going into the story, Balak had basically he tried to hire Balaam to send up curses unto the people, to the nation of Israel. Okay, he tried to, because he understood that basically the Lord had gave him he gave him insight on what's to come, and he gave him insight on basically being able to curse and bless people, blessings and curses, so to speak. So Balak had hired Balaam to try to put curses on the nation of Israel. And this is after they had heard what the Lord had done for the nation of Israel, for our people when we came up out of Egypt. So after the three failed attempts of Balak trying to get Balaam to curse our people, this is what the Lord put on Balaam's spirit to say. Let you know also too that the Lord controls these other nations. He deals with the nation of Israel, our people. We are the Lord's chosen people, but he can use these other nations in any fashion that he wants to. So he put it on the Balaam to say this.
I'm going to read that in the NLT. It said, now I am returning to my own people, but first let me tell you what the Israelites will do to your people in the future.
Right, in the future, which is the days that's to come, because we coming into the new rulership, which the Lord is going to usher in, which we're ushering in the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Another name for Yahweh Shai he's the Prince of Peace. He is the King of Peace. So in order for peace to be established on the face of the earth, we have to, the Lord is going to put down all the other nations and all their ideas, everything that they imagine to do, all that got to be put down. So the righteous kingdom can be established.
Okay, verse 15, it says, and he took up this parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, have said, and the man whose eyes are open have said, he have said, which heard the words of Yahweh Shah, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not know. I shall
not
be.
now.
Yep. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near.
Right, and that him that is talking about is talking about Yahweh Shah, because it said, I shall see him, but not now, because it was already prophesied for Yahweh Shah to come in his first coming during the time of the Romans, you know, and his second coming during our time period now, while Esau Edom is ruling America. Yahweh Shah is going to return, you know.
But not near. There shall come a star out of Jacob.
Right, see that star is talking about Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah is the star. He is the main point of interest when it comes to this whole, when it comes to Israelite in general, because we all depend on Yahweh Shah, you know. We are nothing without Yahweh Shah. That's why he was saying, I am the door, you know. He is the gateway to leading us back to the Father. So he is that star. He is the one that is like you have a team, any type of sports team. You know, you're going to have your superstars. Basically, they the ones that lead and carry the team. You know, they carry the team to victory. They the ones that get a lot of the highlights. They the ones that do a lot of the, basically, they the ones that is put in that leadership role, even if they don't have the title. You know, so they are the stars, the superstars of the team. So Yahweh Shah is that star.
And a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
Right, the scepter shall rise out of Israel, going back to Genesis 49 as well, where it said the scepter shall not depart out of Judah, because Yahweh Shah came out of the tribe of Judah. Judah is the head tribe, and Yahweh Shah is the head of the nation. You know, he is the head of the nation of Israel. You know, when we think about the nation of Israel, it starts with Yahweh Shah, you know.
And shall smite the corners of Moab,
right,
and destroy all the children of Seth.
Right. See, and Balaam, he go through all he pretty much, you know, start covering the different nations that the Lord is gonna come back and destroy. So you so-called Chinese, you're not getting away with anything that you did. You know, Psalms 83, all the nations was confederate against Yahweh Shah and the Israelites. You know, Jeremiah 30, all nations, every last one of them shall go into captivity. You know, all thine enemies. So all the nations, but they're going into Moab too, because this is Balak is the king of the Moabites at the time.
And Edom shall be a possession.
Right, Edom is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He said he should be a possession.
Sears also shall be a possession.
Seir, his land.
For his enemies.
Right, for his enemies. Who is Esau's enemies? We are Esau Edom's arch enemy. You know, we the ones that Esau Edom target the most. You know, everybody got their ops, but we the ones that Esau Edom focus on. You know, these other nations, they have opposed Esau Edom, but they was lightweight compared to us, because he know that we are the only ones that truly had the power to take him down.
And Israel shall do valiantly.
Right, Israel shall do valiantly. You know, and ultimately his enemies, it goes all the way back to the womb with Jacob and Esau. Well, it goes further than that, but it go back to Jacob and Esau, because Esau ultimately know he lost the blessing to Jacob. He sold his blessing to Jacob. Well, he sold his birthright to Jacob, you know? So with him selling his birthright to Jacob, it's like he sold the kingdom. He sold everything that we are to inherit unto us. You know, what he was to inherit unto us, which it was set up that way. But ultimately, with him losing his birthright, that made him a possession. So in the kingdom to come, these Edomites, these so-called white people, they're going to have to go through slavery. They're going to have to go through that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, and then they're going to be wiped off the earth.
Verse 19, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
Right, and destroy him that remaineth of the city, because these Edomites, like I said, after 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be wiped out. They're going to completely be destroyed off of the face of the earth. Which we can get. What else did it say? I think we got to go to another nation. Oh no, because get that last one.
It said, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
Right, see, and Amalek is he is the head tribe of Esau Edom. He is and he is ultimately, right now, he is the main topic of the earth. Well, he is the main topic of the controversy over here in America. You know, the anti-Sem movement, basically. You know, this whole anti-Sem thing. But this is all Amalek's doing. Amalek is the head tribe of Esau Edom, and they the ones that control everything. It's like he the first of the nations. And then also too, you know, Amalek also too during the time of the Greeks, you got these different Amaleks that was basically in the rulership and the power. Like he was the first of Esau's rulership. You know, he was the first of their rulership. But he is the first. He basically the head tribe of Esau Edom. But it said his latter end should be that he should perish forever. You know, and this is the ultimate end for Esau Edom, because they're gonna vanish away like they never existed. It's gonna come a point in time where Edomite is not even gonna be a term that's used anymore. You know, a so-called white man is not gonna even be a thought. It's gonna be like, you know, we're not gonna even think about this man anymore after he ceased to exist. You know, it's gonna be generations of people that come up, and they're gonna ask what an Edomite is. They're gonna wonder what it looks like. It's gonna be like a ancient race of people that existed million years ago, like Esau Edom actually try to say. Like he'll say Neanderthals existed millions of years ago, but you can't find one nowadays. Well, he is that Neanderthal, because after a certain point in time, people won't even know he exists anymore. Yeah, Joseph. You got a precept too? Job 21.
Joel or Job?
This is Micah chapter 5, starting at verse 1. Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. Right? Going to Yahushua. These other nations done. This is what Esau Edom done. But thou, Bethlehem, Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come he, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting.
Right, talking about Yahushua.
Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brothers shall return unto the children of Israel.
Right, the remnant, the elect, because this is all the Lord is concerned with. Yahushua. That's all they got their eyes on, you know. That's the only ones that they actually concerned about. You know, that's a heavy thought in itself. You know, here it is. You got a whole world of people that say they love God, and you know, God is good, but he only concerned about a certain group of people, he only concerned about a certain nation, and within that nation, a certain group of people within that nation. You know, that's hit. So the remnant is the only ones that's gonna be delivered. But then he is talking about Yahushua that shall come. And we patiently waiting on him to come and return to save us again.
Verse 4, NLT, he will stand to lead his flock with the Lord's strength. In the majesty of the name of the Lord, his power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Then his people will live there undisturbed, for he will be highly honored around the world.
Right, we will live there undisturbed. Well, no other nation ever had the power to make us afraid again. You know, that ain't even gonna have the power that make us afraid. It said we gonna live undisturbed. You know, we ain't gonna worry about nothing. You know, what the last part said.
Read it again. He would be the source. Nah, it's not. And he will stand to lead his flock with the Lord's strength. In the majesty of the name of the Lord our power, Yahweh Shai. Then his people will live there undisturbed, for he will be highly honored around the world.
Right, he will be highly honored around the world. And then you think about it in the kingdom of heaven, the Yahweh Shai, he gonna be world known, worldwide. He gonna be known worldwide, and we gonna be right there, joint heirs with him. Just imagine 144,000 men dealing with Yahweh Shai on a personal level. Talking to him, actually conversating. When you laughing with Yahweh Shai, we drinking and eating with him. Just imagine it. And then you have, you go and some of the other nations see you, they gonna reverence you, and they gonna be like, man, you really know the Lord, you really know Yahweh Shai. His fame is gonna go throughout the whole earth.
Yeah. All right, this is Job 21:1.
But our people gotta realize before all this comes, this man Esau Edom gotta be uprooted out of the earth. Because also too, another video I had seen, it was sent to me. It was this Edomite woman. I don't know how she did it or how it came about, but she took a picture. Somehow she took a picture. I don't know what camera she used, but she took a picture out there, and all she seen was a whole bunch of objects, She said ships, which it did look like ships. It looked like the type of ships that you would see on one of these sci-fi movies. She said she seen a whole. It was like a whole bunch. Of course, she said UFOs. She said she seen a whole bunch of UFO ships, and then she rendered the picture in the negative effect. So it brought out the images, because at first they appeared like black dots or black ships, But then she did it in negative effect. So that means the background was white, and the ships, well, it was white at first, but the background when he did it in negative was white, and the ships were black. So you seen a whole fleet of ships just out there flying. We know Yahweh Shai is on his way to return. We know the angels exist, and it just further prove, further backed up the scripture where it say, it's gonna be thousands upon thousands of angels, because she said it was like thousands of those ships that was out there, but she had a picture of it. Y'all didn't see that?
Behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth. This is weird. I'm in Job 20, that's Job 19. But this jumping to 15, 21, 22. But that's second Ezra 15 right there. Let me go to KJV.
Right,
So you want to start it. All right, this is Job 21, verse 27. It said, behold, I know your thoughts and the devices which ye wrongfully imagine against me. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? ask them that go by the way, and do ye not know their token?
Right.
That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction.
Right. See, the wicked is reserved until the day of destruction. This is Esau Edom's fate. Going back to what it said in Numbers 24, where it said, "But Amalek's he was the first of the nations, but his latter end is that he shall perish forever." So the wicked are reserved until the day of destruction. You know, Esau Edom, the whole thing of loot being made, these super soldiers being created, these AI robots that's trained, that's programmed to be military combatant, these drones, all these weapons of mass destruction that Esau Edom is creating in these countries and these other nations getting their hands and access on the talks of war. It's all for his destruction. It's all for him being brought down to the end, brought down to the ground. And his latter end is for him to waste away and then be wiped off the earth. This is the end of Esau Edom. This is really what we seeing. This is what we living out in our lives. The end of Esau Edom. So, like I said, the wicked are reserved until the day of destruction. And we the day of destruction is gonna happen in our lifetime. We seeing it coming.
It said, "They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath." Keep going. Who shall declare his way to his face, and who shall repay him what he have done?
Right. See, Esau Edom, he gotta pay for everything that he's wrought on the face of the earth. All this wickedness that he put in amongst the nation of Israel, with the mindsets that he done put on our people. The doctrines, the drugs, the guns. Okay. How he switched everything, emasculated the man, emasculated the women, or emasculated the men, but emasculated the women. He got it's just so much wickedness that Esau Edom has done. Who gonna pay him back? And how about Shem Yahushua is gonna pay him back? And it starts with his kingdom falling, and it starts with him being taken out of power. Because all these Edomites, especially these higher end Amalek, all these banking families, the elite, all of them, they gonna be enslaved. And all the generations of Edomites that's gonna be destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles, they gonna come back in the kingdom. So all of them gonna be destroyed eventually. All of them gonna go through their slavery eventually. But this is their fate.
I'm gonna read that in the NLT. It said, "No one criticized them openly or pay them back for what they have done."
Right. So ain't nobody saying that the Edomites, what you did to the so-called black people, what you did to the so-called Native Americans, the so-called Mexicans, so on and so forth. Ain't nobody saying what they did was wrong. Ain't nobody out here trying to establish judgment for the nation of Israel. Going back to Revelations 11, where it said we weren't even given a proper burial, because didn't nobody stand up for who, what has actually happened for our, to our people. None of these other nations did.
Yet shall he be brought to the grave.
Right, yet shall he be brought to the grave. He finna be brought down, Thus shall he be brought down to the ground. Like,
and shall be remain in the tomb.
Right. See, he gonna remain in that lowest state, because after Esau Edom come out of the power seat, this time it'll never be another uprising of Edomites. They'll never, and that's Isaiah 14. They'll never come up again. They'll never have a glow up, as the world say. See, Israel, we finna come up. The nation of Israel, starting with the elect, they really finna come up on a level never before seen on the face of the earth, never before seen in history at all. But Esau Edom, he finna take the biggest L of all time.
Verse 33, it said, "And the cloud of the valley shall be sweet unto him, and every man shall draw after him, as there are innumerable before him." I got one more. It said, how then comfort ye me in vain, seeing in your answer there remaining falsehood.
See, that one.
Hmm.
It's Nahum chapter 1, verse 2. Nahum chapter 1, verse 2. It says, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is jealous. And the Lord revenging. The Lord revenging and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries. He reserveth wrath for his enemies.
Right, he reserved wrath for his enemies. So the Lord basically letting this man Esau Edom get to a certain point so he can magnify his power on a whole nother level, because the way it's looking, Esau Edom, he reaching heights that no other nation has ever reached, as far as wickedness, as far as his technology, as far as his weaponry, This man Esau Edom, he got technology and weaponry we ain't never seen that he gonna showcase. And like the Lord said, he finna destroy it all. He reserving all his wrath, but the Lord is really reserving the time just for Esau Edom. Esau Edom got his own special time in history where the spotlight is on him.
So the Lord, he dealing with he had to get our punishment out the way first.
Right.
He had to deal with the nation of Israel first when he dealt with his enemy. It was a order of things that had to happen. We had to be punished for a certain amount of time. We was going to remember ourselves in the land of our captivity. He was going to set us in order, the elect in order before the eyes of all our enemies. And we was going to read after judgment, we was gathering evidence, exposing them, reading the judgment out, and then the Lord is going to execute the judgment. So it's a process, it's like a whole process had to take place, because even before he judged us, he sent the prophets out. It was an order, told the prophet what was going to happen to the nation of Israel. Deuteronomy 28, that was Moses prophesying it. Baruch chapter 2, that's Jeremiah, right? He scribe for Baruch. Baruch was the scribe for Jeremiah. So the prophets was prophesying to us going into captivity, all these things going to happen to us. And then on the flip side, the Lord, now he raised up the remnant of the prophets. You know what I'm saying? Well, he raised up the same prophets coming back in their stead, coming back in their life. Prophesies against 2/3 of the nation of Israel again. First and foremost, let our people know to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And then let these other nations, telling the nation of Israel to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Then let all these other nations know they faith until the Lord execute the judgment. So it's like we like the prosecutors for him right now. 144,000 men. Like I said, judgment shall be given to the saints. So we hold in court. The Lord is the true judge, though. You know what I'm saying? Well, he put all the power in Yahweh Shai hand. He the overseer of it all, though. Right.
And shalom to all the Akim and Aqua tuning in to the
See, this is how you got to be, man. You get that fever, but you got to be slow to anger. And then we got to wait. We know wrath is reserved for the enemy. So everything has to play out. This verse 2 again, or Nahum 1 and 2 again. For Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is jealous, and the Lord revenging. The Lord revenging and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries. He reserved wrath for his enemies.
So like I said, he is furious because we had said earlier, the Lord, he got our punishment out the way first. Lamentations chapter 4. But when you go into how mad we made the Lord, it said he waxed hot. You know, his anger waxed hot. I think that was in Exodus. When Moses was was up there with the Lord 40 days, and the Lord saw our people building that golden calf and worshiping idols. I believe that's when it said his anger waxed hot. You know, or it probably is in Jeremiah. I can't remember exactly where. But we really pissed the Lord off. You know, and look at the extent that he went to make it known how bad we really made him mad. So it said he is furious. You know, he fears with the wicked. You know, the scriptures say he angry with the wicked every day.
The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked.
Right, he will not at all acquit the wicked, meaning he's not gonna forgive them. Ain't gonna be no grace period or no mercy for him. You know, Esau Edom ain't gonna have it easy in the kingdom a certain amount of years.
The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, and dry up all rivers. Bashan languishes, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languishes. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt. The earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein.
Just going into the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, letting you know when the Lord ready to do something, it's gonna be major. It's gonna be on a large scale. He said that the mountains quake, you know. He said, the earthquake, you know. The mountains melt. You know, it just goes into when he ready to do something, it's gonna be on a major scale, you know. The Lord, but it was going into how he is furious. You know, he's furious with the wicked. He ain't gonna let them go. So when the Lord do that, it's gonna be on a major scale via the thermonuclear missiles. That's why it was created. All of this missiles and this technology of mass destruction was created to destroy the wicked, you know, and destroy this wicked empire. And of course, 2/3 of our people gonna be caught up in it because they had a mindset of an Edomite. You know, they love this society. They love the culture that's been given to them, and they willing to follow Esau Edom to the death. You know, see, the elect, the 144,000, they gonna follow Yahweh Shai whithersoever he goeth, even to the death. We got 2/3 of our people following Esau Edom to the death. You know, and they death ain't gonna be honored.
Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him.
Right, it said, who can abide, who can stand? Just think about when the Lord flooded the earth. Who was able to withstand that, you know? And save the people that the Lord chose to withstand it, to be saved during that time. Literally no other person and no other creature was saved, you know? Nobody can withstand when the Lord ready to throw down, you know? And then he let you know that he do it all. He let you know, see, if Esau Edom, when he rolled through, you know, he had towns, he had people, you know, afraid to go up against him. You know, he can do his little power. He got his little power to do it. But the Lord, he on a whole nother scale, you know?
The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And he knoweth them that trust in him.
Right.
But with that overflowing flood, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies.
Right. We finna make an end of America, Babylon the Great. This is why we continually coming out of prophesying. And this is why things are happening. Prophecy is taking place. And this man really needs to be taken out of power, because I had seen an article. Yeah, it popped up on the Google feed. It's about this Edomite. Can't remember the name, but basically it said he got he made an Oculus. You know, the Oculus Rift thing. You know, the little goggles you can put on, and it takes you like into a virtual world where you can play a game in a virtual reality called the Oculus. When he trying to engineer an Oculus Rift, that's what they call it, to where when you die in the game, you die in real life. And this is actually a real idea that he has. You know, he said, I read the article, it basically said he was trying to trying to tie the gap between virtual reality and actual reality. You know, so when people playing video games or whatever, they'll make their choices a lot wiser in how they act. You know, and of course it was an idea, but the pioneer behind the idea was Esau Eden, the so-called white man. Who would think of something like that? If you die in a real game, and it said it's supposed to trigger something in the head or in the Oculus Rift that's connected, that's supposed to connect, I guess, to your brain or something. So it's supposed to kill a certain part of your brain if you die, and get a red screen on the screen. It's supposed to trigger somehow. You know, he got it detailed how he wanted to go. You know, but this is the people that's in rulership. You know, and they know ain't no way that somebody would ever think of something like that. See, that these type of things would not be thought of in the kingdom of heaven. You know, because who would think of something like that? And you know, you got a lot of people that play video games. So imagine if someone play it. Imagine if this world get to the point where something like that was actually manufactured and people actually got it. You know.
Think of the game, think of the game, several other video, real life games that they have done in the movies. They have, portrayed that in the movies, basically. But nobody has ever made it happen. Is what you're doing.
Right. Well, now Esau Edom, he got the idea that he want to make it happen. You die in the video game, you die in real life. You know, they even got down to the point of saying where it's certain points where it's not the player's fault if they die, but it triggers a death in the game. You know, that all that'll have to be fine-tuned. Final Fantasy. You know that second back in the set.
Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent a second. Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brothers with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh and were tormented with scourges and whips.
Right, see, in an account like this is going to happen again in real time in our situation. But we went into it last week. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10, where it says, some of you shall be taken into prison, you know, be thou faithful unto death, and the Lord is going to give us the crown of life. You know, these brothers, they was in a situation where they had to be faithful unto death. You know, these brothers and their mother, you know, they had to be faithful unto death, and that wasn't no light death that they went through. You know, that was their body parts were chopped off. You know, they were put into a hot boiling pot of hot water, or extremely hot. You know, they was tormented. But nevertheless, it's also a story of faith. But the point of it, you know, is going into what they said, what they prophesied to happen to the latter end of all the Edomites. You know, started with Antiochus.
Verse 2. And one of them spake first. One of them spake first, said thus, what wouldst thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than transgress the laws of our fathers.
Right.
Then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brother and his mother looking on.
Right. See, this, like I said, this is gonna happen again, where it say there's gonna be certain men beheaded, certain of the elect gonna be beheaded because they refuse to go with the system that Esau Edom implemented. Because we gotta remember back in First Maccabees chapter 1, when Antiochus said he wanted all people to be one, you know, and he wanted them to conform to his religion, to his way of life, you know, and it was basically a sin to profess to be a Jew. It was a sin to keep our Israelite customs. You know, it's gonna be the same thing in today's time. You don't want to take that charagma. You gonna have to. Esau Edom gonna see about you. You know. Now it ain't gonna be that way for every elect member that's hemmed up, but we know it's gonna be some that's hemmed up that's gonna have to take steps in Yahweh-Shai's second.
Notice how Antiochus, he cut the tongue out of the brother who spake first. It's just like that. Esau, they watch the videos, they can see the brothers who you know what I'm saying, that the brothers who they probably consider that can speak well, you know what I'm saying, who can rise up other brothers. Them will be the first brothers they'll go try to, you know what I'm saying, they'll try the brothers who they probably consider, you know what I'm saying, who probably got a higher measure of faith and speak out. Like I said, this brother spake up first. You know what I'm saying? So it was like okay. He must be
The leader.
Yeah, right. He'll cut his tongue out. You know, we're gonna torture him to try to make everybody else get in line. Basically. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot. Which verse 4 again, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of the body, the rest of his brother and mother looking on.
Right. And see, Salaki, see, because it seemed like Antiochus got away with it, you know. It seemed like these Edomites during the time when the Greeks and Romans, they got away with all that wickedness that they did. But it's all been reserved for the time that we're coming into now. You know, it's all everything they have done, they finna pay for it now. And that's what one of the brothers they gonna go into. You know, don't think you're gonna get away in the end, because you're gonna have to pay for everything that you done.
Now, these devils think they can repent now and then get away with it. No. Antiochus repented at the end. He was in the mindset, said, I'm gonna make Jerusalem a burial place for the Jews. But then when he got this, Lord brought this sickness on him, and you know, he was sick, he knew he was gonna die. He started talking about he'll even become a Jew. But did the Lord have mercy on him? Nah, man, he still killed him, man. You know? So for you devils like the brother going into it, ain't no getting away from what you did, man. You know, we ain't get away. We received double our sins according to Isaiah chapter 40.
Right.
So how much more y'all? In verse 5, when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire. Lord.
Fire. Like I said, of water.
And to be fried in the pan. And as the vapors of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
Right, so they exhorted one another to die manfully. See, we exhorted one another right now to stand firm in the faith of Yahweh Yahushua, like we brought up the brother Elder Manasseh Zappa out of GMS South Carolina camp, you know, and his encounter that he had, you know. It went with an Edomite, but it might as well have been with one, because you got Jake coming up against the prophets, you know. Anybody that come up against the prophets, you know, you might as well be one of the other nations, because the Lord still gonna deal with you. He gonna deal with you.
Verse 6, the Lord God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, looketh upon us, and in truth have comfort in us. As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declares, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants.
Right. He should be comforted in his servants.
So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin off his head with the hair, Lord, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
Right, without eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body. So they was torturing them. They was, and that, like I said, that time coming again with the Karamu. You gonna take this? You know, ain't no telling what they gonna be doing. You know, but the Lord put the spirit on these brothers and the mother to go through all this. You know, the Lord was with them, even in the time of judgment. The Lord was with them to go through all this. You know, and He gonna be with the brothers whose lot is to be beheaded for Yahweh's sake.
And this show you, man, these the same people right here. See how they got Jake, man, cutting off his leg, cutting off his, and they set him on fire, man. This show you these people who these people are. This show you right here, man. This all the other atrocities, but this going into the scripture we going into now, man. How they cut Jake limbs off there and set him on fire, man. It's the same people.
Right.
You know, he being exposed now, man. We got the evidence, man. He took pictures of this. He made these his postcards. He really done this.
You got people that still got this in their house, and they look at it every day.
Right. Just look how they beat Emmett. Look how they beat Emmett Till right here where we at in Mississippi, man. Look at this. This the picture how he look. This how they beat the man with barbed wire, bats. Right. It's just the things we got on picture, man.
I'm talking about that Edomite right there. He threw a finger sign at us. It's all good.
Right. Look how they got Jake burnt to Chris right there, man. These the same people, man. It's the same people. And then, look how they got Jake hanging. All these Edomites got on suits and ties. These same Edomite sons that wear suits and ties, walk around, you speaking, smiling, but they'll hang you in the instant.
They was telling stories about what they did to our people, you know, to their children, like a bedtime story.
But we teaching hate. We just teaching the truth. We just teaching you not to be no fool, be no dummy, man. You know, don't be ignorant to who these people are.
Don't be their next victim.
Right, these people are the wicked, man. What it say, who should pity or charm?
Right.
Then that is bitten by a snake, you know, right, man.
Right, like you said, we telling our people don't be their next victim.
Yeah, they scalped him, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They was scalping on Gad. Verse 8, but he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did.
Right.
And this is the same thing they was doing when we was in slavery, man. They gonna get the strongest slave. They gonna do what they call buck breaking. You know what I'm saying? Or beat them to sleep until they put fear in everybody else. You know. All these brothers was, hey, they was chafed in the spirit. The Lord had them in the spirit to, well, man, this is some heavy torture right here.
Right. We barely holding on to just working 8 to 10 hours a day. You know, some Jake barely can make it 8 to 10 hours a day. They feel that's torture. So imagine just going through actual torture.
Verse 9, and when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou, like a fury, takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws, unto everlasting life.
Yahweh Shai. What did he say in Revelations 2 and 10? He said, be thou faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life. Give thee the crown of life. So he literally quoted what Yahweh Shai was quoting what he said. You know, basically he said, those that die in me, you know, you're gonna be raised up first.
Which he was rolling through the spirit, so he really was quoting that he, you know, that the spirit of Yahweh Shai was in him. You know that, you know, the same spirit of the Heavenly Father, but. You know, that's all it was. He was part of the elect. You You know, so he was in that same spirit that Yahushua was in Revelations 2 and 10. Verse 10, after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
Right. He already knew what's up. He, his mind made up.
Yeah, there was some heavy torture tactics, man. Lord have mercy, man.
It's only a small example. It's probably things that we don't even, where it is things we don't even know about. How far could you go?
First Maccabees chapter 1, man. They was throwing the babies for not being proud. Need to get there too, man.
That's why the Lord said
Speak up.
we couldn't know his anger for what they had done. And we couldn't get mad at him because he has to put his anger on us. When that time comes for that destruction to happen to Esau, Most High gonna put his vengeance on the men to go out and do his work.
Verse 11. Verse 10 again, after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again. Right. So the Lord, he was talking about that new body, man, a comeback in the reincarnation. But see, once we understand the full spectrum of everything, man, true enough, we ain't hoping to die. We hoping to see salvation in this land without death. But we don't know what our lot is. So, hey, you just got to pray the Lord can give you the strength to go through whatever whatever your lot is, man. Because this heavy torture tactics right here, man, this is crucial. I done read this before, but it's just reading it over again. Man, this is wild right here, man. Putting out your tongue, putting off all your limbs, and you still alive though. And then take you to the frying pan. How worse a torture can it get? You know what I'm saying? Just to try to make these brothers eat some damn pork, man, some pig, man. And you got our people willingly eating pig today. You know what I'm saying? Willingly eating it, man. You got brothers who was tortured. Which we gonna get First Maccabees 1, 2, man. These heavy torture tactics right here, man.
Torture just to defy the power, to defy our power. Just to go on, like you said, our people willingly defy our power now. They don't even need Esau to give them anything new. They'll come up with something new anyway to defy Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
And our people don't realize, look, mentally, it's been passed down, the traumatization from what he was doing. So y'all, if you weren't part of the elect, you gave in. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't part of the elect, eventually you gave in, from generation to generation until you just like it said in First Maccabees again. I'm gonna get that too since I'm here. This is what a lot of our people did, man. This is First Maccabees 1 and 10. And there came we start at verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule every one in his place.
Right.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils was multiplied in the earth.
Right. It said after their sons many years. So the more Edomites that got into power and they got into rulership, more and more wickedness was spread abroad on the face of the earth.
There came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome. He reigned in the 130 years year of the kingdom of Greece. In those days, so it's 137 BC. In those days, went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we had much sorrow.
Right, you had men of the nation of Israel going out making covenants with with the other nations, with Esau, Edom. You know, Esau, Edom would put them on a level to do wickedness. You know, when I say put them on a level, he'll elevate them, probably give them certain perks, certain riches, you know, but to promote and lead the rest of the nation of Israel astray. You know, that was the whole mindset. That's the same tactic Esau, Edom do now. You know, our people, they'll sell out to Esau, Edom. You know, they'll get certain riches. They'll promote a certain image to Jake. You know, like this is the way to go. You know, we got it. You know, now we can't. You know, we was, because he said, since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So at one point they was in the same position or predicament that the rest of the nation was. But since they went out, you know, they sold out to Esau, Edom. That's why I said wicked men, because they wouldn't. You know, they went to Esau, Edom, their enemy, basically for some type of salvation, some type of deliverance out of the situation they was in. You know, it's the same thing in today's time.
Because see, we reading about this. We reading about the actions of that's gonna be of the elect. Then we got to go into the actions of the 2/3 of why they acting the way they act. Everybody's back in their lot. Everybody coming back, you know, to do what they supposed to do. That's why you got people willingly eating pork into all these different covenants with Esau, Edom. So this device pleased them well. Then served of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Right, so he gave them permission to do the same, to do the ordinances of the heathen, to keep their customs, you know, do their rituals and practices. Like I said, you know, they put them on a certain level because Esau, Edom do it to this day. You know, he paid Jake handsomely to promote wickedness and promote a lifestyle that's detrimental to our nation. You know, that's actually destroying deaf culture. As the brother put it, you know, the brother Ayash, deaf culture. So Esau, Edom, he pays our people and put them in a certain position to promote an image that's going backwards. You know, as the Lord considers us going backwards.
We're going into the history of in the Bible, man. It's when it started, man. These guys got in the power. These damn devils. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
Right.
And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief.
Right, sold to do mischief. So there go your selling out. They were sold to live a lifestyle of wickedness and sin. You know, they had to participate in they practices, they wicked festivals and they wicked sacrifices that they do. You know, Hollywood and all the celebrities of this society. You know, they gotta partake in all of it. They don't just get a free pass, and it ain't just no one-time thing. You know, ain't no telling how many times they gotta go back and do all that wickedness. You know, annually or monthly. It's like a subscription. They gotta keep going back and doing it again.
Yeah, one thing about it, there are many different exercises, machines, and different things. So there's many different avenues that wickedness can take root to, like the brother going into Hollywood, the music, you know, whatever is out there that's on the wicked, all the thought of acts they had to do just to get into that society.
Right, and ain't nothing wrong with exercise. Ain't nothing wrong with exercise, but the word gymnos goes back into naked. Well, they was exercising naked, you know what I'm saying, which is a little more clean today, but that's why everybody the women come in with the tights and everything, showing, you know.
Right. Men come in with tights.
Right, now you got the men think they finer than the women, you know what I'm saying? Nigga with tights looking at his, you know what I'm saying, looking at his shape, man.
Right.
I'm like, man, really, brother? Really? got it, bro. But I'm gonna skip down.
Right. But like the brother said, that Junos go back to Neki, you know. And just these are Edomites that we talking about. So you can only imagine. You don't want to imagine. I say it like that. You don't want to imagine the type of wickedness that was going on. You see what they allow now, this whole alphabet community and everything. So just imagine. And like I said, you don't want to imagine how bad it was back then.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say which that nakedness goes into, when 2/3 of Jacob get involved in that, they naked because they don't have the Most High. They get in that wickedness. They expose.
Right, which this is literally nakedness though, right here. It's the brother right, but this is literally the word Jim knows, like Jim goes back into naked, man. It was exercising butt naked. Butt naked. This is First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 4-1. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right, and they always have, I think that's what the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance. That's what it is. First of all, they had us in school saying a Pledge of Allegiance. Who are we pledging our allegiance to? Esau, the so-called white man, first and foremost. And then on top of that, at the end of the Pledge of Allegiance, he say, one nation under God. So that's always been his plan, to make one people that he governed, that he ruled. Everybody has the mindset of him, and everybody follows after him. The only way for him to achieve that is to put that charagma in everybody. Because if he don't have a certain way, a definite way to control everybody, you always gonna have rebels. And that's what he want to eliminate. That's why he could never achieve that one nation, because you always had rebels, and his way of dealing with rebels was to kill them.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right. That's why in the New Testament you had so many of our people Hellenized, because our people, they consented. And generations on generations have been passed down. That way of knowing we are Israelites and our customs have been lost.
And now to the point to where they got our people. Esau so deceptive now. He got our people think they ain't doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're celebrating these holidays, eating. You know what I'm saying? Eating these abominable foods.
They don't feel. He took away the guilt of it.
Right. He made them think it's all right. We're gonna go into hell. Next verse. For the king sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Right. So he sent special messages to Judah and Jerusalem, to the Israelites. He said, I want all the people that's in my province, in my control, to do this, but make sure the Israelites know this for sure. And then they called it strange laws, because this was foreign to us. This ain't nothing we normally do. We don't normally celebrate no holidays, no Christmas, no Easter, no none of this, no Thanksgiving,
See, this is in this whole chapter going into, this is when all this stuff was set up. You know what I'm saying? Then they go into second Maccabees, like 1, 2, and 3. This is when they was putting, you know what I'm saying, it was called the Jupiter in the temple, but this is where we do all these celebrations in the churches, but it goes right back into this. To the point now people think they doing the right thing, but you're not. And the history on how it got that way, it started then, but it showed you in the slave move how they was breaking us and beating us into what they wanted us to do and believe.
And in the scripture, they call it strange laws. Right. So everything, all the customs of America is the strange laws.
Strange laws of the land.
Right, but now when we coming into the right mind, we keeping the Passover, we keeping the high holy days, we keeping the Sabbath as it should be. That's strange laws to our people. It's strange to them. You know, if you say you're gonna keep the Passover, they look at you crazy. You know, they look at you like you're doing something wrong, like you Muslim. That's the first thing they say to you, Muslim or something. And it's on every calendar that they right. And it's on every calendar that they have. It's in their phones. The Passover. But they don't acknowledge it. The only ones they acknowledge are the ones that's kept over here in America.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Right. So like you said, our people, they willingly do it now. You know, they happy to do it, happy to profane the Sabbaths and everything. You know, just think about when Easter roll around, everybody bring them bright colors out. You know, that's all they be thinking about. Thanksgiving come around, all they worried about is the food. You know, well, you know, for the most part, Christmas. You know, all these different holidays. Oh no, I'm good.
They pollute the sanctuary and holy people, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
See, and that was physical, but now you can think of it in a spiritual sense. Lead their children uncircumcised, because the Lord always wanted our minds to be circumcised. You know, basically meaning we conform into His ways. We conform into the way of Yahweh Shah. But it said you want your children to be uncircumcised. Like I said, it was physical, but you can think of it in a spiritual sense, because the generations now, they're not leading their children to the Lord. You know, they're not talking about, okay, we're going to serve the Lord, we're going to serve the Most High. You know, even on a lower level lower level way, a watered down way, they're not even teaching that to their children.
Right, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinance.
To the end, so basically that means this is the whole purpose of it, that they might forget the law and change the ordinances. You know.
And get that real quick. Isaiah, go ahead. I get it.
Talk about Daniel.
Nah, Isaiah, you get it, Daniel too. Get it with Isaiah 7. Not Isaiah 24 around verse 5 in the NLT. Where it said they should twist, earthly. I think it's verse 5. It said they have twisted the Most High's instructions.
Yeah. Change all.
All right, this is Isaiah 24.
And you get Daniel too,
verse 5. In the NLT, it says the earth suffered for the sins of its people.
The earth suffers for the sins of his people, man. And who was that? Who was the earth, man? He saw even the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, and so who is he? Where is he, man? He said, where is he or who is he? Where is he? Who is he, man? So
where is he?
So who is he? You know what I'm saying? So who done this? You know, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, which they covered. He took the place of the judges, and he hid the true faces of the judges. You know, he covered with the so-called image of Caesar Borgia, you know, and he pushed this doctrine, man. This is when they came into power. See, this is what he pushed on the Native Americans, man, the Northern Kingdom. And then it was pushed to us. But he pushed it because, see, before he pushed this, it tell you the Aztecs, you know what I'm saying? You had the Issachar, which was the Aztec Empire. It was Quetzalcoatl, who they call Yahweh Shai. And they had him as a dark skin with woolly hair, a beard. They had old ancient paintings of him. And by the time the so-called Spaniards got through, this is the image that was pushed. You know, this is the physical image, and then it pushed this whole imagination is what you see now. Because when they showed up, they had on tights, high heels, you know what I'm saying, wigs.
That's what they said coming back.
Right. So, go ahead, But these are the people who are in rulership, and this is why you see this is why you see so much of the alphabet community. This is why you see wickedness multiplied in the earth. Go ahead, bro.
Like we said, they had on tight heels, wigs, and they ain't had no facial hair.
Right,
You know,
they was looking at the northern, you know what I'm saying, the northern kingdom might have their shirt off. Columbus then was looking, you know what I'm saying? Columbus then was fucking faggots. You got it, bro.
All right, this
You going to the history on how Columbus was looking at the, you know what I'm saying, looking at the northern kingdom, talking about, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
It's Isaiah 24:5. It says the earth suffers in the NLT. It says the earth suffers for the sins
Man,
of
start
its
at the
people.
top on it, bro. Start at verse 1.
All right, this where you want the NLT or?
Read that. I think read that in the KJV.
This said, behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattered abroad the inhabitants thereof.
Scattered abroad, and this is what you see going on. The inhabitants being scattered abroad from wars, from uprisings, from famines. The Lord turned the earth upside down. Says it's gonna be uproars of the people, earthquakes. You know what I'm saying? Gotta measure the time diligently in itself. Go ahead, bro. So this is what's going on there, man. You know? Go ahead, Al.
All right, verse 2 it said, and it shall be as the people, so with the priests, as the servants, so with his master.
So ain't nobody escaping when the Lord really started to visit the earth. It don't matter what type of position you in, what job you got, what status you got. When they showed you that doing COVID, go ahead. When the C-19 jumped out, you got it.
As with the maid, so with her mistress, and with the buyers, and so with the sellers.
Right.
As with the lenders, so with the borrowers.
Come.
As with the takers of usury, so with the givers of the usury to him.
Come.
The land shall be utterly empty.
This land, America, is going to be utterly empty.
And utterly spoiled.
And utterly spoiled. Go ahead.
For the Lord have spoken this word.
Right.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
See, the earth mourning and fading away, man. You know, this is what you see going on. So if the Lord don't come back and stop Esau from his wickedness, man, he gonna destroy everything. He'll annihilate the earth, man. Got these thermonuclear missiles, he'll turn everything into fucking dust. Right. Go ahead, bro.
The world languished and faded away.
Come.
The hungry people of the earth do languish.
The haughty people.
Yeah, the haughty.
The haughty people, now the haughty who is the proud, now they languish. They don't got no answers. Now that's why they want to be cool with the Israelites. That's why they want to try to figure out a way to make it into your salvation. Because they can't really tell you the insiders. You got different insiders who tell stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what all this is. This is why all like the scriptures say, they so Esau so wicked, his own people tell it. You know what I'm saying? His own people coming out telling the secrets. Go ahead, but that's the Lord doing it. You got it, bro.
Therefore, Salaki, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So this is why it's chaos, war, and death. You know what I'm saying? And disease. Because of the people who in rulership. And don't nobody wanna hold these people accountable. Because you don't understand what it said. The wicked don't understand the judgment of the Lord. You know, you don't really understand what's going on because you wicked. Whether you think you righteous or not, you know, you do a little righteous. Your total mindset though, if you want America to keep going, if you think these damn other nations gonna be saved, if you want to be cool with them, man, the Lord don't care nothing about you unless you gonna wake up in the end. It's just straight like that. Go ahead, bro.
It says, therefore, because they have transgressed the law.
We're gonna get in the NLT too. They have transgressed, and it's telling you why. They transgressed these laws, man. And Esau Edom pushed this. The other nations worship their other God, but we go to the culture of the so-called Moabites. They got the yin and the yang. They know about the good and the evil. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just pushing. Right? They know about balance. I'm saying they know about good and evil. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the Arabs, the other nations. You know what I'm saying? Esau, huh?
They got They got a certain point where it's like it's too much.
Yeah, come. Esau Edom is just he the wicked.
He got no limit.
This who you got to realize who this man is. Hell and death. When he show up, hell and death following him. This is what he brings. What's the wages of sin? Death. He is sin. When you look up that word, when you go into Hebrews 12 and 16, lest there be any profane, any fornicator or profane person is Esau. You look up profane, it tells you ungodly. When you go into the Greek of the word.
That's why they call him the border of wickedness. And
Huh.
what is wickedness? It's sin.
Wickedness was multiplied in the earth when this guy took power. And you know what I'm saying? 330 around 320s, 333 BC under Alexander who y'all call the Great, Alexander the Greek, Alexander the damn freak. And they've been on a rampage ever since. They relinquished power. We took it from him for 1,000 years, but now he's back and he going harder than he ever went to live out his blessing. To live it, you know what I'm saying? He's going hard with the blessing that he got, that he was given in Genesis the 27th chapter. So we not teaching hate. This love. You just don't know the difference. Go ahead, bro.
I'm going to start back at the top. It said the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the law.
They have transgressed the law.
Changed the ordinance.
They changed the ordinance, like he said, but just letting you know who done it. You know what I'm saying? It's a people who done this. In this document, we go into scriptures and showing you who is the guy, who is the people that done this. You're, oh, it's the devil. This spiritual demon Satan. Where he at? You know what I'm saying? Where is he at?
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Broken the everlasting covenant.
Broken the everlasting covenant. So this going into some people. It said the inhabitants of the earth, right? This going into a nation of people right here who done this. We went into the evils were multiplied in the earth when these people took power. Go ahead, bro.
All right, the NLT.
And see,
5.
America, they replicate in the White House or somewhere in the White House where they got a picture of all the Greek gods. They know who they go back to. You know what I'm saying? They know where they first. That's why they try to say civilization started with the Greeks, because that's when they came into power. These damn devils, man. Go ahead, bro.
All right, verse 5, NLT, it says, the earth suffers for the sins of the people.
Right, the earth suffer for the sins of its people. Get Job 9:24 real quick, huh?
For they have twisted Yahweh Shem Yahushua instructions.
They twisted the Lord's instructions, okay? Now you can be a damn freak. Now you think you can eat what you want to eat. Now these women think they can wear whatever, do whatever they want to do. Get in the pulpit. They twisted the Lord's instructions.
Violated his laws.
And
broken his everlasting covenant.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
This is Job 9 and
Get
24.
that in Daniel, Ark 7.
This is Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Right, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Who is the wicked? That's what you have to understand. Yes, wickedness is in all of us, but who embodies wickedness?
He covers the faces of the judges thereof.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. He covered the faces. He hid the faces of the judges. But what did the Lord say in Isaiah 1? I will restore your judges as old. You know, this is what he doing there, which we're going to get there too. Go ahead, bro.
If not, where? Going into where is he? And who is he?
If not, where and who is he? Who this talking about right here? Who is this talking about?
It's just like it reminds me when Jake tried to make a point, and then, they get seated up like who, where and who is he? Who doing all these things? Who is the one in control of everything that's making this earth even more wicked?
Who pulling the strings with the legislation, man? Passing all this, man. It's some people doing it, man.
Right.
The spiritual demon Satan ain't in there. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna pass this legislation. He's gonna pass
He's not signing nothing.
Right.
He ain't sitting in the White House.
Right.
He's not the one getting on He not the one getting on TV doing the speech to the whole nation or the whole world.
Who done this? It's a nation of people. It's a nation of people done this, okay? You read that? Read verse 24, 25. See where the story. Oh, this verse 21.
Here's what they would say was whipping our people, you know. It's the people who came in his spirit that was doing that. Esau Edom, a so-called white man. Like I said, where and who is he? If he ain't the one doing this, then what other nation? Where have you seen a Chinese version of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ? Or where have you seen a Moabite or Chinese Ammonite? You know, a Elamite version of who the world calls Jesus Christ? Or where have you seen a so-called Elamite as Moses?
Right, a so-called Hamite, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Round here, Hamite child. You know what I'm saying? You know, only Esau Edom done this.
Right. Even Canaan don't even, you know, or either, like you said, even a Hamite's not claiming to be the Israelites. They know they're not the Israelites. And they one of the closest resemblance that we have.
All right, this is Daniel 7, verse 17. These great beasts which are four.
Read that in NLT right there, that's 17.
17. In NLT it said, these four huge beasts represent four kingdoms that will arise from the earth.
Represents four kingdoms that will arise from the earth. The Assyrian Babylonian kingdom, the Medo-Persian Empire, you had the Greeks, then you had the Romans. Go ahead. And after the Romans, we took them down, ruled the Dark Ages, and then this is the Roman revival of the Roman Empire, the EU, the Roman Empire, the Edomite Union, all over again. Go ahead. Now they call themselves Germans, Brits, Greeks, you know what I'm saying, Spanish, French, Russians,
Americans,
Swedish, Australians, Americans.
Israel, what is it? Israelis.
Right, Israelis.
I'm going to continue the NLT. It said, but in the end, the holy people of the Most High will be given the kingdom, and they will rule forever and ever.
The holy people of the Most High will be given the kingdom and will rule forever and ever. Okay, in the end, at the end of all these kingdoms, we in the end now. Who is the holy people? The Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. What made you holy? The Lord gave you the law, statutes, and commandments through Moses. That was to sanctify you, to set you apart. But only the elect is going to be sanctified. Only the elect is going through that sanctification process now. Because what did Yahweh tell the disciples? Sanctify them through thy truth. Whether John read it, what Yahweh said, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Go ahead. Sanctify them through thy word is truth. Go ahead.
All right, this is back in the NLT. It said, then I would know the truth of the four beasts, which was diverse from all the others.
Going to that Roman Empire, man. Because in Rome had that pact. We can go into Maccabees, where they had the same NATO pact they had today. Where they just making allies with everybody. Your enemy, my enemy, your enemy. And that's what made them so strong. Go ahead.
Exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Go ahead.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom thee fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose looks was more stout than his fellows.
All right, so America was the horn. Read that again.
Yeah, I'm going to read it in NLT too. It said, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up,
Right.
and before whom 3 failed.
Right, man. So now it's going into the 10 horns and the 3 which fell when America came into power. France, Britain, and Spain. So here, that's where America came from, which America's extension of Britain. But America declared her independence. That's when they had the French, the Spanish, and the wars against the British. Go ahead.
Even of that horn that had eyes and mouth, and a mouth that spake great things, very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellow.
Right now, America look more stout than his fellows. Why? Because America got the military might. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 3-city state, which America's military might. Britain is the money, and Rome is the religion. You got it.
Okay, I was gonna read the NLT.
You can. Well, America's look is most, if not, just keep going.
I'll read it. It said, I also asked about the 10 horns of the 4 beasts' head and the little horn that came up afterwards and destroyed 3 of the other horns.
Which the power horns goes into power, man. You know, so America was prophesied to come into power and be their last kingdom to rule when Yahushua come back, man. You know, America, Babylon the Great. You know, that's why I said it spoke great words against the Most High. This is the place that's speaking great words against the Most High. The laws and the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? The way they treated, the way they handling his people. You know? Go ahead, bro.
This horn had seemed greater than the others, and it had human eyes and a mouth that was boasting arrogantly.
A mouth that was boasting arrogantly.
Back in the KJV, it said, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
See, that same horn made war with these people when they came into power. You got to go into the prophecies and break down the prophecies.
And prevail against them.
And prevailed against him. Right. So they prevailed against us. We're going to the reds, right? I mean, go ahead and war out the power of the sun. Go ahead. That's the same verse. Is that the end of that verse?
Yeah, that's the end.
Read that in the NLT, then you can go back. Read that before in the NLT. It says the saints, right? So the Christians will read that and say that's anybody. You know what I'm saying? The saints consider anybody, to be anybody. Let's see what it says in the NLT. But when it comes to saints.
All right, verse 21 in the NLT, it says, and I watched this horn was waging war against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, holy people.
It was God's holy people, the Israelites, man. So this horn was waging war. And it started during the Renaissance, and it haven't stopped. To the point to where in Revelation, what John said, they was drunk off the blood of the saints. You know what I'm saying? This is which they was profusely shedding the blood of the Israelites. Go ahead, bro.
And was defeating them.
And was defeating us. Keep reading that in the NLT.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Verse 22, it said, until the ancient one, the Most High.
Into the ancient one, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the Most High,
came and judged in favor of his holy people.
Now the Lord coming to judge in favor of his holy people.
Then the time arrived for the holy people to take over the kingdom.
Hey, then the time arrived for us to take over the kingdom. This is the time we're approaching, man. But to take over this kingdom, take it. This is for control of the whole of everything, man. The whole universe, everything in existence. This is what we fight for. This is why Esau is not gonna go out. He don't want to let it go. Right. You know what I'm saying? He controlling everything right now, man.
He's so used to having control that he don't know how. He not used to not having control.
But guess what, Esau? Your time is up.
You know,
What James say? It's the big payback, revenge.
he not,
Right.
he not
Yeah.
used to not having no type of say so. You know, the thing about the time of the Persian Empire, what was Haman trying to do? He still was trying to overthrow Israel. You know, he just had to say something. You know, had to try to put his agenda in. But now Esau coming into a point where he ain't gonna have no say so at all, because the people that's in charge is his enemies. You know, see, Haman was the enemy to the king of Persia at the time. You know, he wasn't the enemy until the end. But from the get go, right from the get go, Esau Edom is an enemy. You know. He ain't gonna have no say. He gonna be at the very bottom of the kingdom of heaven. You know. The brother said he ain't gonna even have no house. He gonna be in the pit all 1,000 years. You know, so
you'll have some little pits like the little cage you like to dwell in. You know what I'm saying?
right. It's gonna remind you of home.
Right. You get cold, man. Here you gotta make you a little fire. Gotta keep you just comfortable enough where you can stay alive and work.
I ain't getting no comfort with me.
I'm saying just enough where he can stay alive to keep building, keep doing what he got to do.
He gonna do it in the freezing cold when it comes to me.
Right, I feel you. He sound like the cold anyway. You know what I'm saying?
They be out there in shorts and tank top running in the cold. It was a baseball game some Edomites had went to. It was snowing. They was out there shirting.
Yeah, like them games in Green Bay and stuff.
Yeah,
you saw out there. Zero, right.
Damn negative numbers.
It's gonna be even that's gonna be on a whole nother level in the kingdom of heaven. It ain't gonna be no chemicals, or it ain't gonna be no you tampering with the weather, tampering with the air to make it colder or hotter. Like you gonna really feel what below freezing really feels like.
You ain't gonna have no sunscreen. But when that sun get the torch, when that sun get the boil in your skin, you ain't gonna have no sunscreen to block it.
Right. You ain't gonna have no products, no clothing. It ain't gonna be no you know what I'm saying, no belts or nothing for JC Penney. You know, you to go buy Burlington Coat Factory. Ain't gonna be none of that for you.
Absolute, brother. That's what you're talking about. You know, there's no leadership and no factories. Zero feels like zero.
With that, but I was going into how, you know, like Bill Gates said he wanted to block out the sun and try to keep it from quote unquote global warming. You know, it ain't gonna be no them tempering. Like when the earth being renewed, we gonna really get to feel and experience everything for what it naturally is, like even breathing air. You know? So they gonna breathe good clean air, but they gonna also feel the elements, you know? Like the time we was out here when it was the snowstorm came.
The actual heat of the rays of the sun.
Right. Yeah, they gonna be working day and night shift. They gonna be working 2 jobs.
All right, verse 23.
Like he said, he's not gonna be on that. You gonna have all shifts going.
Doubles. Have a chariot in the night, shining, so you can see.
Then he said to me, this fourth beast is the fourth world power.
The fourth world power, okay?
That will rule the earth.
The Roman Empire.
It will be different from all others. It will devour the whole world.
It had the Senate. It had what you call the Senate. That's what made it different. Go ahead. It wasn't just ruled by one king. Go ahead.
Trampling and crushing everything in its path.
Come.
Its 10 horns are 10 kings who will rule that empire.
Which there was weaker nations that was allied with Rome. Go ahead.
And another king will arise different from the other 10,
right,
who will subdue 3 of them.
We just went into that. Now, America subdued France, Britain, and Spain. Go ahead.
He will defy the Most High.
He will defy the Most High.
And oppose the holy people of the Most High.
Well, oppose the holy people, man. That's why they went on the rampage north, South, and Central America, man. Go ahead.
He will try to change their sacred festivals and laws.
He would try to change their sacred festivals and laws. He done it.
And they will be
now
placed.
You think you Sabbath is, now you think Sunday is the Sabbath. Now you celebrating Easter instead of Passover. You know, you celebrating Christmas instead of Hanukkah. Or Purim. Go ahead, bro.
Our people don't even pray. You know, that's just something I thought about. They don't even pray. You know, a lot of our people, and that's one of the most powerful. That's our way to connect, to directly talk to the Heavenly Father, and they don't even do that. You know, that's how far the Esau Edom has you know, led our people astray from the Heavenly Father.
He would try to change their sacred festival laws, and they would be placed under his control for a time and half a time.
Going back into the festival laws, you think about the Day of Atonement. You're supposed to ask for forgiveness for your, you know, for your sins and iniquities. You know, even now you still ask for your forgiveness for your sins and iniquities. But our people don't even pray. You know, our people don't even think they're doing anything wrong. You know, that's just something that came to my thought. You know, we were raised to even, you know, say your night prayer. You know, say your evening. You know, your prayer before bed. You know, which you can pray throughout all the day. You supposed to pray throughout all the day. But our people, they don't even. You know, they don't say no type of prayers. And if they do pray, that's because they want something.
Verse 26, but then the court will be passed, judgment. Then the court will pass judgment, and all his power will be taken away and completely destroyed.
Right. See, the judgment is being passed right now. We tell him what the judgment is going to be before it's executed. We tell him that all his power is going to be taken away. That's why he don't like it. You know, he don't like that judgment, so he's willing to fight the court. He's willing to fight the judgment. That's how much Esau Edom don't want to lose, that he willing to fight the Heavenly Father. He willing to fight Yahweh Shai and the angels when he returns. You know?
Yeah, they said we will be placed in his control, under his control for a time and a half of time, and that's going to that 350 years. You know, which when they done a number on us, man.
We weren't set free.
Right, they done a number on us mentally, took away switched our feast days, because you gotta understand something. When they took that away, they took our understanding away. A good understanding all day they keep his commandments. So when they switched the times and laws and the statutes and the commandments from us, that we had lost that understanding. But then after that 3:16:20, when they subjugated the whole 12 tribes, and then like in late 60s, early 70s, when the spirit of life started entering into the elect men, starting with our elders, you know, then we started to come out of control of Esau mentally.
The truth set us free.
Right, you know, the truth is setting us free spiritually and mentally. Even though he he was still in a physical captivity, but we being free mentally and spiritually, which is destroying him, man. Which is now we learning our way back home. We learning our way with us being free mentally and spiritually is leading us into a physical freedom. It's gonna lead to a physical rescue, you know, a physical redemption. You got it.
Verse 27. Then the sovereignty, power, and greatness of all the kingdoms of the heavens, Salaki, will be given to the holy people of the Most High.
This is what's going to happen now. Everything's going to be given to whether you want it or not. Whether you want it or not, whether you can accept it now or not, you're going to be forced to rule, man. You know, the Bible, see, that's another thing about the Bible. When the true gospel is teached, it puts you back into what the Lord said he was going. We are nations of kings and priests. So when the true gospel is teached to the Israelites the right way, it puts you back in that mentality of a king and a priest, a ruler and a priest. Okay, go ahead, bro.
His kingdom will last forever, and all the rulers will serve and obey him.
All the rulers, we're going to be joint heirs within it. All rulers is going to obey us. We're going to go back now. But just going into the whole aspect of it all. The whole aspect of everything. Like, how is it the point is at now, man? Like the listener brother going into, like these torture tactics coming back again, man. And man, Esau wild, man. Esau wild.
I'm going to switch back to the NLT on this last one. It said, hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitation much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me. But I kept the matter in my heart.
I said Eve out here roaming. No, I'm saying I ain't never seen him just like while we down here, just like this on a. I mean, he said, you know, he just out tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to the American people. I see Daniel saw when they came back in the power. You know what I'm saying? Daniel saw the Greek and the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? Then he saw when Esau came back, and he saw when these guys they came back as these so-called Americans. Daniel saw them. Everything Paul said, covered the best gifts, which is prophecy. Testimony of Yahweh, the spirit of prophecy. Back in 1 Maccabees 1:48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
I make that spirit unclean. You know, that's Esau even doing his whole mentality. You know,
And whosoever,
I was just gonna say Habakkuk chapter 2. He said that his soul that is within him is not upright. That's how Esau even want to make it.
whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die.
Right. He should die. That's what we read about in 2 Maccabees chapter 7. Whoever don't do according to what the leader, the ruler, advocates, he gonna die.
In the self-same manner, wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanded the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Right. So he said, and our overseers now is your politicians, your pastors, your entertainers. These your overseers to keep you in line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to keep you in line, to keep you in order. These are the overseers. It started with their own people. But like we read, a lot of our people consented to the religion. It pleased them until he like, hold on, we can make them the overseers. This way, what you think them wicked Pharisees and Sadducees would be in your house, share all the problems? They was the overseers. You know what I'm saying? They was the overseers back then. They might was keeping the law, but they weren't right. They was extorting the people. They was all in it. They was, you know, and then a lot of them, it let you know the Sadducees was mixing Greek philosophy, mixing Greek ways with the Hebrew, with our ways anyway. Now the Pharisees were strictly about the law, but still a lot of them weren't right.
They were keeping the law to a certain degree.
Just like a lot of these Pharisees today, the wicked Pharisees, these Old Testament Israelites, you don't want to accept the New Testament. You don't want to accept But the God New Testament, which is Yahweh Shai. All the New Testament was the revealing of the Lord and Savior coming to die for the sins of the nation of Israel. Right. To establish the new covenant, the renewed covenant, the renewed covenant. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor.
Right. Those that didn't want to sin, they had to run. They was on the run for their life. You know, you had those that did, those that wouldn't.
He's coming again. We could be as careful in these years. When they come with the Torah. You know what I'm saying? When everything unfolds. The time when Jacob's trouble comes. You know, it's gonna come all around, but this time gonna be way worse than this. He said it's gonna be worse than any other time on the face of the earth. So the way they were torturing us then, Lord have mercy.
You got technology, you got things that you know, without Yahweh, without him, we would never win. You know, with man it's impossible. With the Lord, nothing is impossible.
Now the 15 days of the month, in the 30th, in the 145th year, they set up abomination. They set up the abomination of desolation upon the house, and builded idols, often throughout the cities of Judah on every side. That's these churches. They burn incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. It's a little while. Verse 56, and when they had written in pieces the book of the law, which they found, they burned them with fire.
Right. They burn them with fire. So anything that had anything to do with our culture, you know, or basically our history in general, they tried to get rid of it. Going back to he covered the faces of the judges thereof, because now you're trying to change history. You're trying to change the narrative of the Israelites.
This is why this was taken out of the original. This is why this was taken out of the original King 1611 King James version. See, they ain't burn it. They wanted to take it out. Know why? Because they still wanted to study it secretly. And, you know what I'm saying? And manipulate it.
And they feel we'll never figure it out.
Right. And so they can try to understand it and know what's the prophecies and the end games and the plan. You gotta know who we dealing with. But in slavery, you get caught reading the Bible, you die. Right. You know.
You got down to the point of if you got caught reading in general.
Well, you got beat for reading, but the Bible they gonna kill you because they like, hold on, you tapping back in, yeah, you tapping back into the right thing now.
We hit a nerve.
God. And whosoever was found with any of the book of the Testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. He did in Revelation 12, where it says he went off to make he gonna come down with great wrath and make war with the remnant of her seed and those who keep the commandments. We can just get 2 Kings 16, or that should be a great insurrection. Get that, yeah, get there too. We're gonna get there too. I get it. I got it. I get 2 Kings. Because this is all coming back around again. It's the same people. Thus did they, by their authority unto the Israelites, every month to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 5th and 20th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Right, so they started putting to death any woman who was getting their children circumcised, man. This is this is these devils right here. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore, the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel.
Right, so like the brother said, we return it back to our lots. The elect, they gonna have that same mindset. Whoever was, because not all of the elect, not all the those that was faithful to Yahweh and Yahweh Shah died during this time period, you know. But you had those that did. They returned it back to their lot again to come back into this time. So those that's appointed to die for the sakes of Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, they gonna do it manfully. You know, they gonna do it faithfully. You know, because they understand the reward of what's to come behind it. And ultimately, they know the end goal. You know, my them dying was a part of the story written and a part of the reason why Esau Edom is going to be taken up out of rulership. You know, they understand the bigger picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Okay. All right, this is Revelation 12 and 15.
And all these lessons is for the elect, man. We don't care. If you can't feel it, because see, this is for the elect. This is what's coming again. So this to build our faith, because it's coming around again, man. You know, it's the spirit of brother here to do this. Cause I read them stories over and over, but that story I know it. But to read it again now, it's just, man, that's some serious torture. That's serious. Just for they try to make them eat pork.
And then the Lord said it's gonna be a time like never before again. So what they went through, it's not even gonna compare to what's to come. Because those, it's the same people, and it's the same. They have the same mindset. So what's to come now is gonna be on a whole nother level.
All right, this is Revelation 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
It's going into 70 after 70 AD, man. When Esau when he that was like a part of Jacob's trouble then when he sacked the temple. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize something. The spirit of life had started entering into the elect then. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahweh Shai had came, he had made the way straight. The truth, our people was, you know what I'm saying? Our people was getting back in that mentality, man, to the point where we was shaking the Roman Empire up like we doing now. And to the point where they gonna besiege the temple. They had to besiege the physical temple. But now they gonna come again to besiege they want the people. We the temple now. And they gonna lay their besiege against us again. But then it ain't gonna be like 70 AD. Which a lot of our people gonna get it. You know, go ahead, bro.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Who is the dragon, man? The red dragon is Esau Edom, man. When it's described the red dragon in Revelation 17 with the 7 heads and 10 horns, that you know it's 7, it's going into kingdoms. 5 fall and 1 is the other. You know, it's letting you know it's talking about different kingdoms. Go ahead. This ain't talking about the spiritual demon Satan right here. Go
and
ahead.
Went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
And we read about it. Went to make. He made war with the holy
Saints.
people. Right, with the saints, it's talking about the same people. Go ahead. When they made war with the remnant of her seed, go ahead.
which kept the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua,
Which I think you should have stored it up. After what is verse 12, where it said, "Woe to the you heavens, woe to the earth." Is that verse 12 or 11? A lot.
Therefore,
Yeah.
go. Start at verse 9. This is Revelation 12 and 9. And the great dragon was cast out.
The great dragon was cast out of his power seat, man. Esau, Edom, man, his power finna be brought down to the earth. Go ahead, bro.
That old serpent called the devil
Right.
and Satan, which deceived the whole world.
Right, who deceived the whole world, man? Esau, Edom, man. Go ahead. What it said, the nations was mad. You know what I'm saying? They drunk of the wine of his immorality. Go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth,
Right.
and his angels were cast out with him.
His allies, his agents, go ahead, was cast out with him. Go ahead.
And I heard a loud voice saying in the heavens,
Right.
now is come salvation.
This is when salvation gonna come. When this man is taken out of power, man. Now it's gonna come salvation for our people. But it's a process thing had to happen, man. The wicked one had to be revealed. You know, he should be slain. He should be consumed with the spirit of his mouth, by the spirit of his mouth, and by the brightness of his coming. He should be destroyed by the brightness of his coming. Go ahead.
And strength and the kingdom of our power.
That kingdom we were just reading about in Daniel. Go ahead.
And the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our people, our brethren, is cast down,
Right.
which accused them before our power day and night.
Psalms chapter 50, man. He accuses us before Yahweh Shem shot day and night, man. Go ahead.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Right. See, and this is how we overcome. This is how we overcome by the blood of the Lamb. Yahweh already shed his blood.
And by the word of their testimony. And our love.
And by the blood of their testimony, and by the word of their testimony. This is how we overcome it, by this word. Go ahead, bro.
And they love not their lives unto death.
And you ain't gonna love this life, this life unto the death, man. You know, go ahead, cause you with much wisdom is much sorrow. Really realize this ain't living right here. What we doing, man. We just survive. You know what I'm saying? It's how we right. Survive. We in survival mode, man. In America, man. Okay. We in survival mode.
Right now, we just getting our daily bread, you know, both spiritually and physically, to get by. But in the kingdom, we're gonna have everything in abundance. You know, we're gonna have more. We're gonna have even more than what we need. So that just goes to show what the brother said. We just survive.
I see this word teaches us how we gonna have life and have it more abundantly. This is, you know, this captivity right here. Go ahead.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens,
Come.
and ye that dwell in them.
Right.
Woe to the inhabitants
See,
of
we
the
rejoicing too with the heavens because the kingdom of heaven is within us. So we know what's gonna happen. We rejoicing at the fall of our enemies. Go ahead.
earth. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth,
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. This is everybody who don't understand what's going on.
and of the sea.
Right.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
So who's finna come down, man? Esau Edom, man. He know he got a short time, man. Go ahead.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman.
See, when Esau see his power, he losing his power. He like, I know who it is. You know what I'm saying? It's there go Jacob. You know what I'm saying? He gonna persecute. He like, I know who it is. It's those guys right there. They bringing me. They consuming me. Go ahead.
He persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child.
Right. The man child is Yahweh Shai. But all Yahweh Shai is the word. And we just speaking Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? Until Esau Edom, boy, he got to come. He got to make him. he got to go and revert back to his bliss.
And also too, each brother is becoming a portion of Yahushua, coming like in a portion of
The
Yahushua.
full body. That's a full Voltron body coming together. You know what I'm saying? The arms, the legs. I don't know if you know about that Voltron out. You know what I'm saying?
But
you know about that Voltron.
It should. It's right along this time.
The sword is the last thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They come together with that full body, man. Got the head, the arms, the
like
legs.
a transformer or something.
Yeah, but it's Voltron.
Yeah,
It's
it's a different
it's back
show.
in the day. Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, man. So, hey, it is what it is, man. That whole body coming, like the brother said, that whole body coming together, man.
Because they understand, they know Yahushua coming back. But if they got people that's surrounded, that's in their own homeland, that just like Yahushua in the same mindset, they gonna come down with that great wrath.
It's like the 300. When you watch the movie, hey, the 300 can't. As long as they ain't break their ranks, they was untouchable. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the 144,000, man. They gonna stand in their line. They gonna break their rank, man. It's gonna be right, man. You know,
It's gonna appear and look like you see the movie Black Adam yet.
no, I gotta watch
It's
it.
on beat.
Yeah. That's good. Good.
They're gonna appear and be like Black Adam, you know, having that power,
Don't tell me about it too much, Sean. Go ahead.
that strength. But it's good watching if you can. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, but that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and half a time
Right.
from the face of the serpent.
Go ahead. That's it, ain't
It's a couple more verses.
it?
Unless you want me to finish it out. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right, man. That was physically when they tried to annihilate us, and then the flood also represent the ones who they couldn't get. Then they started to, you know what I'm saying? You know, when they came with their indoctrinations post, you know, when they came back into power. Man, go ahead, bro.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of her mouth.
Cause we fled in 70 AD, and when we fled in all the coasts of Africa, you know what I'm saying? We was fleeing everywhere, man. But Esau was coming, man. What's up, bro? Go ahead, bro.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed,
Right.
which kept the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Now jump back into the time we in now. So now he meant to make out that, cause he ain't worried about you 2/3, man. He already know you gon' with the life you living anyway leads to death.
Right. Ultimately, when he bring that great persecution, he know you gonna look to him for salvation. He concerned with the ones that's not looking to him for salvation. If they ain't looking to him for salvation, if you're not my what they say, if you're not a friend, then you an enemy. I forgot how exactly they say it. They say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know, 2/3 of our people is an enemy to us right now. You know, so they sided with Esau.
Second Ezra 7 verse. I mean second Maccabees, a lot. Second Maccabees. Nah, you don't gotta get that. I wish you did.
No, I was trying to go to
You just want to get to it. All right, so like the brother going into it, man, with the brothers being with them brothers being tortured, you gotta understand who the people we dealing with, man. You know, so Esau got everything so trickery now, man. He don't got to torture you or nothing, man. With the drugs and the indoctrination and the rap music, that's torture. You know what I'm saying? This shit is torturing your mind to just, you know what I'm saying? You'll snap out any moment, man. If he ain't If you ain't walking in these laws, statutes, and commandments, ain't no telling what you might do. Ain't no telling what you might do out here. Just being real. Ain't no telling what the hell you gonna do. A lot of people got the nerve to say we teaching hate. You go walk a day-to-day life with us and see, you're right, man. We loving our neighbors that we love ourselves, but we teaching hate. We don't even handle these other nations, you know what I'm saying? We at peace with our men, but we know who they are. We teaching you who they are, so you'll know what's to come.
You can jump to 13 and 14, and then I'm gonna have you jump down.
Speak it up, man.
Paul said, because I tell you the truth,
I become your enemy.
Yeah, I become your enemy. So I mean, this is the word of the Most High. We didn't write this. At some point in time, maybe the Spirit through us wrote this. We might have been some of those means, but this is the Most High word. And he just before he destroyed the earth with floods, Noah put the Spirit on Noah to push out the word. Just before Yahweh Shah came, he had John the Baptist to push out the word. So now, he got many spirits out there pushing out the word. It's no escaping this truth now.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse. You want to keep it right? No. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. Now, when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the Most High to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
Right, so as the brother went through all this wickedness that Antiochus was doing, but ultimately Esau, Edom in general, their nation have been doing since they even was a nation, since they even had since really going all the way back to the beginning, it said that you have no resurrection unto life. And also too, it speak of that first resurrection in Revelation chapter 20, when the other nations they get their chance. I mean, after 1,000 years of slavery, they gonna get their land back. They gonna have a chance to go back to their own land and rebuild. They still gonna be subject to us. They still gonna have to be in reverence to the Israelites. But Esau, he's not gonna get that opportunity. He's not gonna have a chance to go back to his own land and try to live righteously or anything. He's gonna be uprooted out of the earth. And then verse 30. Oh, you trying to get me another translation?
I kind of want to read down a little bit out to verse. No, you can go. Just read verse 16 to verse 16 to verse 17, 15, or 15, 17. Yeah, skip to verse 30.
All right, this is 2 Maccabees 7, verse 15. After they brought the fifth also and mangled him, then looked he unto the king and said, Thou hast power over men, thou art corruptible, thou doest what thou wilt, yet think not that our nation is forsaken of Yahweh Shai, but abide a while, and behold, his great power how he will torment thee and thy seed.
Right. So how he gonna torment thee and thy seed? See, the Lord, he gonna do a number on Esau Edom. Esau Edom will get the worst punishment and worst judgment in the kingdom of heaven. Esau Edom he's gonna have the worst of the worst. We can't even imagine, we can't even go into full detail on what Esau Edom really finna experience. His experience finna be worse than our experience.
All right, I'm going to jump down to verse 29. It says, Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brothers. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait for ye? Whom ye wait for? Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandments, but I will obey the commandments of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses.
Right, which that's the mentality of the elect. They're gonna obey the laws, statutes, and commandments, and the testimony of how it's shot to the devil.
And thou that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews.
Right, and thou has been the author of all the mischief against the Hebrews. That's Esau Edom. You know, the so-called white man. He been the author of mischief against our people ever since he came into power. You know, that's why we at the bottom, because he's been the author. He's been really the one in control of the reason, you know, of all the oppression, all the mindsets, the corruptible mindsets, and all the wickedness being pushed on our people. He the one behind it all, orchestrated.
Shall not escape the hands of Yahweh but Yahweh.
Right, and it said he won't escape. So there is no mercy, there is no bringing an Edomite into the kingdom. There is no holding hands with Esau, and you know, Esau won't have no inheritance in the kingdom of heaven.
For we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastising and correction, yet he be at one again with his servants.
Right, see, like the brother had said earlier too, even though the Most High, we had to get our punishment out the way first, Lamentations chapter 4. But that cup coming to Esau Edom too. And it's gonna be even worse. And his gonna be larger. You know, we got the large cup. He finna get we got the medium cup. He finna get the extra large. Really, we got the small.
But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause.
Right, and then it said godless man, and above all most wicked. So out of all the other nations, you are the most wicked of the other nations, Esau Edom.
Nor puff up with uncertain hopes.
Right, don't be puffed up with uncertain hopes, thinking that your agendas and your plan is gonna come to pass. You know, you all proud because the Lord is he's still allowing you to have some sense of rulership right now. So you still in your pride. You know, you had all this pride for as long as you've been in rulership.
Lifting up thy hand against the servants of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua.
Right, like the brother had brought it out too. You know, you shed the blood of the servants profusely.
For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty Power.
Right.
Who seeth all things.
Right, so Esau Edom thinking he escaped, he got away, you know. He think the Lord forgot about us, or the Lord just ain't concerned about us now, you know. But now he's seeing this word. He's seeing our people rising up just the last time. Now he understanding all these things that was written aforetime. Now his judgment is coming to pass. Now he got to do something about it, you know. And ultimately he gonna come for us, you know. But the Lord ain't gonna allow it to. It ain't gonna be to the point where he win this time, you know, or he appear to win, you know. Verse 37.
For our brothers who now have suffered a short pain are dead under Yahweh's power, on Yahweh's B'Shem Yahushua covenant of the everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, shall receive just punishment for thy pride.
Right, so Esau Edom, he's gonna receive just punishment for all the wickedness he have wrought since he was even born. You know, he gonna receive just punishment for everything, and it's gonna happen within that 1,000-year period. Just imagine, this man had thousands of years of wickedness that he has done, and he finna pay for it within a 1,000-year span. So you know the judgment finna be severe. You know, he got less time to pay for the wickedness that he done, and he had more time to do it.
But I, as my brothers, offer up my body and life for the law of our fathers, beseeching Yahweh Shem Shai that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torment and plagues mayest confess that he alone is Yahweh Shem Shai.
Right. And that's the mindset of the elect, you know, making their bodies a living sacrifice. And in some cases, it's going to be a physical sacrifice, you know, which, you know, that it is what it is. They in their lot, you know. But ultimately, that's the mindset of the elect, and that's the judgment of Esau. He has his latter end, like we read in Numbers 24, started with Amalek, is that he shall perish forever. So this man is finna cease to exist, you know. The time is coming where he's finna go into slavery, and then he's just gonna be wiped away, you know. Just like you have a whiteboard, and you might wipe away what was written on there. It's not on there no more. That's how Esau Edom, his whole everything that he has done in humanity and his existence. That's how it's gonna be. You know. You ready, bro? Got your money. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll block that air.
I ain't know what to do. But with that, we're going to close out. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. And shalom to all the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yasha Allah.
Shalom.
And a Bob and Ball.